I'm on a journey to discover great food. When I think of British food, I think of honesty. I think of a generous portion.
For 20 years, Britain's greatest chef cooked classical French cuisine.
Everything was French, French, French. My whole vision was blinkered.
Now, Marco Pierre White wants to create dishes inspired by Britain.
I will construct a menu of all the great things which I've seen. Amazing. Tasted. Cheers. Collected. Beautiful.
And over the next 4 weeks, he'll invite diners to test the dishes he creates.
You take this, please. Rather than just stand there.
Absolutely divine.
You always check things, don't take things for granted.
Really, really, really nice.
I'm putting myself out there to fight for what I believe in.
At the end of Marco's journey, his chosen dishes will be served to 200 people at his Great British Feast.
I will deliver a great dinner for 200 people. And they will all walk away thinking, "Will Britain." What's important to me about food is when I go to France and I sit there and I eat French food, it should be an extension of that country. It should give me great insight to those people. Britain, we are exactly the same. So why not fly the flag? Every chef in Britain wants to go French. I don't get it.
The most influential chef of his generation is going back to his roots.
I'm not 100% British, but I was born and I was bred in Britain. So when people say to me, "Marco, what are you?" I always say I'm an Englishman with an Italian mother. I'm very proud to be British.
After 8 years away from the kitchen, Marco Pierre White is creating all British dishes for the first time.
I don't know what to expect. It's uncharted territory for me. There's a side of which is very excited, but what am I letting myself in for? I'm so used to being in my little world, Mr. Ishii, where people come into my world, and I very rarely leave my world.
Seeking inspiration from across the British Isles, he'll test out his dishes over the next 4 weeks before he faces one final challenge.
At the end of my journey, I'm having a feast, which is a celebration of all the great ingredients that I've been introduced to. It's got to be Britain on a plate, feeding 200 people.
The first leg of Marco's journey will be his search for a main course. He will shortlist 3 and then invite diners to his pub to taste them and give their feedback.
When I look at a deer, when I look at, a hare, a rabbit, a pheasant, I think of portions, I think of food, I think of dishes.
He wants at least one of these 3 main course dishes to feature fresh game.
Rabbits, hares, they're organic, really. They're wild, they've lived their life. It's delicious meat, is rabbit. And as a boy, I was brought up on it. Can I have a pint of cider, please? Thank you. I shoot better piss.
Marco and his driver, Mr. Ishii, are heading to some nearby fields. The plan is to go lamping for rabbits.
We put the spotlight on them and just shoot them. It just takes me back to that world that I was when I was a boy. I remember the first time I ever shot a rabbit. There were magical moments in my life. When I was a boy, everybody ate rabbit. It was delicious. Today, people think they're pretty little things. We're not going to shoot every single rabbit. If we want 6 rabbits, that's all we'll shoot. We're not just going to keep on shooting for the sake of shooting.
Marco and gamekeeper Ross are looking for the reflection of the rabbit's eyes in the darkness.
Further back.
Normally a lot of rabbits down here.
The best time is in the summer, isn't it, when you get a nice young rabbit?
Yeah.
Just leave the legs, saddle, roast it whole, delicious. Do you make rabbit yourself, Ross?
Yeah.
There's one.
Okay, I think. Just over the top. Yeah, you went over the top of that.
It's always nice to miss, though. I like missing, actually. Because if you killed everything, it wouldn't be nice.
It'd be no fun, would it? A rabbit just there on that corner.
30, 35 yards up?
Yeah, easily that. Yeah, easily 35, 40 yards. There you go. Shot.
The rabbit dies instantly and will be prepared for cooking within hours.
Good shot.
If you're going to lamp rabbits, enjoy it. But enjoy it because it's for the table, not for the sake of killing it.
Shot. That is a clean kill.
I mean, it's a generation thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think, people of sort of 55 plus will eat rabbit.
Yeah.
To get a younger person to eat rabbit, very rare.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's very good. Well, we said half a dozen, and that's what we've got. Throw them in my Range Rover. Mr. Ishi will not be very happy, but that's fine.
Although not eaten by many people in Britain, Marco is determined that rabbit will be the first dish on his shortlist for the feast. He'll be cooking rabbit stock pot.
Very simple. It's carrots, onion, celery. There's about 6 carrots, 2 onions, something like that, 1 stick of celery. But, you know, it changes every time I do it. When I cook at home, I don't want aggravation. I want to do something 10 minutes and it's done. Now, we take our rabbit, out with the liver. There we are. And, you know, if you don't want to chop up a rabbit, get your butcher to do it. Strip out the kidneys and the fat. And you can see this was a very healthy rabbit. You mostly get 4 portions out of a rabbit. They're cheap, they're free almost. You know, and they're delicious, and I don't get it why people can't eat them. I mean, there's no real butchery to it, it's just very simple. It's a leg, take the leg off. You've got to have a bit of confidence. I remember as a boy sucking the bones. And just cover the pan with water. One more thing. Chicken stock cubes. Just dissolve them in. And there you are. Look at those delicious pieces of rabbit. And now what we do is very simple. We just boil it till it turns into a soup and lunch, dinner. I'd say it'll take about an hour. What better way of celebrating their life? By eating them. And we all know a rabbit loves a carrot. The meat's cooked. It's now just about finishing it off. The next stage is we put in some bay leaves. There's our kidneys and our liver. Not everyone's cup of tea. But that's optional, remember. Not everyone likes liver. And drop in the kidneys. Bit of volleyball. I was fortunate enough in the 60s to be brought up on it. My mum was Italian. Parsley. Just chop it coarsely. OK. There you are. And what you don't eat today, you can have tomorrow. Little kidneys. Love a kidney. It's dinner. It's broth. It's soup. It's stock pot.
Coming up, Marco continues his search for a main course.
It's quite nerve-wracking meeting someone of his stature. I am quite nervous.
Oh, my giddy. You sure they're friendly?
And 3 of his dishes face a very public taste test.
I'm not so sure, because I've got a rabbit.
Marco Pierre White is searching for the perfect all-British menu to serve to 200 people at his Great British Feast.
When you are going to stand up and say that you are representing Britain, you're going to create a Great British Feast. For me, to make that decision by myself, I think would be wrong.
To help him choose which main course he'll serve, a select group of diners will taste his dishes first.
What I'm looking for is realness. I want realness on the plate, I want realness of produce, and I want realness of people's views.
To succeed in his mission, Marco's prepared to go through hell. He's come to Scotland on a non-smoking train.
It was pitch black when I got up. And now we're in Inverness. To discover the world's finest beef.
Marco's